What's up, brother? It's your boy, Mike Muse. Welcome to the Conversation, the Mike Muse Show. I'm so excited to be in conversation with my next guest, Jordan Fisher. He doesn't need much of introduction, but the last time he was on the Mike Muse Show, he and I had such a great conversation. And when I saw he was out and about doing his rounds, I had to make sure that he stopped back by because of just the joy that he and I had. This brother has done it all. From Broadway to film to gaming to fashion, you name it. What is he not conquering? In particular, now Jordan actually cares about our health. Can you imagine? Which is important. After all that, Jordan, really want to get to eyes, really, Jordan?
Yeah, man. Bro, like, shit changes when you become a dad. When you become a dad, right. Things just go. It's like, hey, no running. No, come here. Right. Come here. Let me look at it. No, Band-Aid.
So let's just get to it. I mean, you're coming in hot. I'm coming in hot right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan is definitely going to talk about the American Optometric Association, but really putting the emphasis on eyes and really saying that 10 times fast.
Yeah,
but Jordan, like
you can say AOA from now on. Now that we said it, we can say AOA now.
Thank you. The AOA. I'm like, ooh, my tongue. It's kind of early for me this morning to be doing all that. So this dad has made you become serious, Jordan? Not that you still have the fun side, but
of course. No, I mean, like, yeah, the world definitely slows down when you know you got one coming, and then when they actually come, and then you know everything just changes, right? Like, things just shift. There's really no book that can describe it. There's no simulation that I can have you run on your VR system to help you feel it. It's just a thing that happens, right? Yeah, man. No, like
it's so interesting you said that because like my friends, so I'm the single one with no kids yet. All right, so plan to have kids, but yeah. So I have this WhatsApp group of all my frat brothers. There's 4 of us. And they literally, it's it's 4 of us total, so 3 of them, they all are girl dads. So it's 3 guys, and they each have 2 girls and more of females. Oh, and I remember one of them was having a birthday party. And so we went, and I'm like, I don't even know like how this is gonna go, right? Like we're all frat brothers. It's a girl dad party. Like, do we bring cigars? Like, do I bring a bottle? Like, do I bring juice? Like, I didn't know what to do.
You had a blast.
Bro, a ball.
I'm saying, bro.
We listen to Kids Bop and everything.
Oh, like, it's the best. Kids are an addition. They don't like you. Yeah. People start getting in your ear about like, oh, everything changed. Your life is they're an addition. Like I just had a work trip in Dallas, and my family came with me. Like I prefer to travel with my kid in my arms. Like that's way cooler, way more fun. I feel better. You know what I mean? So.
And you haven't had any problem integrating it into your social life because we actually had kids bopping cigars. Like literally, like they were kids bopping and we were over on the side cigaring and bourbon it up.
Similar, man. Like we live on the beach. We live, in the Panhandle, and it's just we're surrounded by friends and family, and everyone's got their kids, and we all love cigars and our pina coladas and pool days and like all of that. It's fun. The kids run and jump and play. It's it's everything that you want it to be. But
Jordan, can you please invite me to your kid's next birthday party if you don't mind?
Come through.
I'm a fun guest. I'm a pretty fun. I will bring a cigar and bourbon.
Bring a cigar and you don't have to worry about the bourbon. Actually, you don't have to worry about the cigars either. I got a box of them. It'll be great.
I like how you did that. How did you make the pivot and like focus on the eyes? Because that is one of the most important things that we neglect so often. Like when you said that, I was like,
truth. It really is the truth, man. Like we crawl our way to the dentist because we know, like I got out of that. And it's one of those things. You're hit with an ailment in some way. You go to the doctor. I did the same thing, right? I've sustained a couple of eye injuries in my life and in my career. And after the second one, I was on Dancing with the Stars a few years ago. It really just became so evident to me how connected it all is, because that second cornea scratch that I endured affected so much of my body. I had nausea for weeks. I had a clenching sensation in my throat. My allergies were bananas. My eye was like swollen shut every morning. And it just, it was I was like, right. Something happened to me in my eye. So now I really need to ensure that I'm taking good care of them. Obviously I need to heal. I need to do what I need to do what I need to do. And ultimately that always comes down to what? An in-person, physical, actual eye exam by a doctor of optometry. That's what it takes. The internet is an amazing place, and there's so much stuff that you can do online, but there's no camera. There's no monitor, there's no nothing that you can hook yourself up to that will give you a thorough exam and you know, the most accurate knowledge where your eye health is concerned, other than
Audience,
going
if
and doing that.
I couldn't agree with you more. And audience, you're on this journey with me right now because we're coming off the conversation of Black maternal mortality, and so I've been
Mm.
doing a lot of focusing on health. And I think it's a part of me, Jordan, audience. You've heard me talk about this. Just coming to realization about like we, as young as I feel. And as fun as I am, where I'm also too coming off of the celebration of 100 years, back to my fraternity, I guess, gonna be a running theme right now
Yeah.
where we're celebrating 100 years a few weeks ago. And I was there looking at the new group of new Kappas that were on the yard currently. And I
Sure.
saw them out there having a good time. And I just recognized, like, oh, I'm that old bruh now, right? Like, I'm that old frat
Yeah.
guy
Oh,
who's coming
hey. Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, hey, trying to be
Hmm.
cool. But looking at them, Jordan, I was like, there was a time in my 20s. Like, I knew that I was going to get older, but you don't really understand what getting older means. It's like
No.
this conceptualization that's out there, but you don't really
Right.
understand it. And now that I am getting older, I'm like, oh, my body feels different. I'm starting to squint a little bit more as
Yep.
I'm reading, right? So I'm really doing these mental Rolodexes of like health checks within myself.
Yeah. Got to do it. It's the same thing with like some gastro stuff that I started dealing with. I was like, right, I'm not 20 anymore. Like I can't, like, things are different. Things are changing, right? So, but it really ultimately, the thing that is different for us, that is very, you know, very different for especially Gen Zs. You know, we're both in the same like
Yeah.
young to mid millennial uh generation there. And so we both grew up with the same, we would dial up and
Yeah.
landlines, and you know, we
Mhm.
ran home to watch TRL after school and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
those of us that had that, we've had much more time outside and hanging and playing and jumping on
Mhm.
trampolines and things than we do now, right? Social culture is around video gaming, right? Kids go to school, they talk about what they're going to be playing that night, Fortnite, COD, whatever. They go home, they hop online, and there they are in front of their monitor, talking to their
Mhm.
friends, hanging out, doing what they would be
Yep.
doing anywhere else, but that's where their social culture lives. They're
Mhm.
gonna be there every day. Sorry, parents, that's what it is. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, gaming is social culture for kids now, right? So
Yeah.
all that said, the amount of scrap, I'm looking at 4 monitors right now. I need 4 monitors for my everything for me to work. I
Yeah.
run a I have a production company. I'm part owner of an esports organization. I've got scripts up here. I've got treatment decks up here. I've got games down here. I've got a, you know, another monitor within. Like I am here all day and all night, and without taking those precautions, I'm literally, I'm running my Ferrari until the wheels fall off. And what's
Mhm.
the point? There's no point in doing that. 20 minutes once a year to drive down the street to go talk to my doctor of optometry, while he knows that I do this every day, can really keep an eye on things and ensure that I have a long, healthy life of good vision. And of course, there's plenty of other things that you can do on your own at home. We talk about the 20-20-20 rule with AOA. It's a really simple concept. It's a really easy, just simple thing that you can do from your desk every 20 minutes. Find something 20 feet away and stare at it for 20 seconds. That kind of relief just does everything. It's like stretching before you go on a run. You know, like
Yeah.
what?
This stuff is so important, Joe, because like, audience, just make sure you're on this journey with me. 'Cause I'm really just trying to bring attention to certain areas of our body that we just don't pay attention to. And I think sometimes the eyes are something that a privilege that we don't think about
Mhm.
until we start needing to squint, and we don't realize how much screen time that we are in front of.
Right.
Right. And even if you may not be as busy as Jordan, right? The amount of time that you spend at work, at your job, at your computer
Mhm.
terminal, right? As much time that you spend on your phone, your iPhone, scrolling Instagram, looking at Facebook, heck, maybe even taking pictures of your
There
kids.
are things
Like
that
you
are
don't really
unavoidable as
realize how
well,
much.
right? Like I
Yeah.
like so one large part of my work is that, like, okay, I'm gonna finish like all of these things. I'm gonna have a Zoom call with a
Mhm.
film company that I'm
Yeah.
producing a film with right now, and I have a cut. I have another cut of the same movie that I have watched 5 times now, but I have yet
Yeah.
another cut. So once I'm done with all of my meetings, what do I have to do? I've got to go sit down and stare yet at another screen
Yeah.
for the next 2 hours and take notes on
Yeah.
my iPad.
because it's sometimes even more convenient now because of big tech and because of technology. It's made the idea of the physical paper experience almost obsolete, right? Because even where I'm getting into the thespian phase now, and by that I had a few lines in a big role that's coming up very soon, a small part they want me to participate. They want me to participate in. But looking at the lines, like I prefer looking at it on my phone, right, and kind of bring it onto set because I'm really not a thespian, so I can't memorize shit, right? And so I'm like,
even as a producer, like we used to have these go fold things that would have all of our dailies, our production sheets for the day, like everything, all of this information would be in these like little leather folders. I like the analog nature of it. I do film notes on a notepad, like on a notebook, like a leather bound one. That's just like a thing that I just do. And that's the only thing that I'm analog with is just film notes. Other than that, everything is on. Everything that I do, period, to run my life is on a screen. So it is a business decision for me. It's not only a lifestyle thing, it's a business decision for me to ensure that I'm staying on top of what I need to stay on top of. And I can't I can't get the cavity and then run to the dentist saying, hey, I wasn't taking care of it, but like I need help right now. I don't have that time, bro.
You can't you can't bleach your eyes, right? Like you can't veneer your eyes, right? Like there's no cosmeticness that can happen with your eye. Jordan, I'm curious, you don't have to get too deep into your medical history, but I'm just wondering, along the way of these eye exams, was anything surprising like you discovered, or anything surprising that 100%. You learned?
Well, I mean, I started these exams at a pretty formative age. I was in 4th grade, right? And Riley, our son, we're going to take him at 6 months to start this journey as well. So we're super serious about it. Like we don't, there's all of these preconceived notions and cliches and things like that. And of course, like, this is another ad. This is another campaign. This is another whatever about health. And here's another actor, familiar face talking about a thing that like, you should probably pay attention. Yes, sure. All of those things are true. What's also true is how serious it actually is.
Right. It's like, yes,
and how emphatic I am being about how simple it is and how everyone needs to just go meet a doctor of optometry and just get an exam. Just get an exam. Just get the information. It is that simple. And it frankly, it saves lives. I mean, like, there are things that can be found and can be caught in those moments that like you would never know about. And to be able
to had like any aha moments or just being on this campaign, have you learned like anything about like how the eyes are connected to like possibly diabetes, how the eyes can be the window of soul to certain other ailments that you can do early preventive detection on that you wouldn't otherwise know?
There are certain pictures that they can take to get into the very back of the eye to show you things that like they want to look out for because of certain things like start to move or get back. We are evolving and changing all the time. So one of my biggest aha moments in getting these regular eye exams, just going back to answer that question, was just as I grew, my prescription changing. As I was growing, my farsightedness was becoming a little more nearsighted for this period of time. Oh, I have astigmatism. Oh, it's a really bad stigmatism. Like what? How do we navigate all of these things? Every time I would go back, there would be an evolution in my eyes. Sometimes I would go back and they'd be like, your prescription hasn't changed. Everything looks really great. Like, do you have any issues? I'd say no, like everything's fine. Awesome. See you next year is a really nice feeling.
Yeah, especially the C part. I would never forget. I was standing in line. I went back to Michigan for something in Detroit. I'm not from Detroit. I'm from Lansing. Everyone thinks I'm from Detroit, but I was going back to. I was in Detroit. I was at this hotel. There's a Starbucks in this hotel, and there was this group of beautiful older Black women that were getting their coffee at the Starbucks. And I just overheard their conversation, and one of the ladies said, "It's so good to see you," and then the other lady responded, "Well, it's good to be seen." And that just hit me in such a real way. I was like,
okay, so funny. My production manager.
Thank God for being seen.
And I tell him, I think it's good to see you. And he says, Jordan, great to be seen and not viewed.
Yes, viewed. That was the other part that she said. Yes, it is. That's it must be a Detroit Midwest thing. Like I
was like, yes, it is great to be seen and not viewed.
It was like an aha moment for you as well, right? That's why I remember that. I'm like, you know what? At this day and age, thank God I am seen and not viewed.
To be seen and not viewed.
And when they say it with such purpose and
Oh, of
sincerity, right?
course, because
They
there's
mean
God
it.
and chitlins in it. You know what I'm saying? There's God and
Yes.
chitlins and cornbread and collard greens and that shit. You know, like that. That's why. That's why.
That is. And then I saw this other older Black lady in the elevator. I was in Virginia recently. I guess I do random states and cities. And in Middleburg, Virginia, of all places. And we're getting in the elevator. And I greeted her. I said, how are you? And she said, some kind of wonderful. I said, well, all right. Some kind of wonderful.
Man,
continue
your day and be blessed.
That's what I told her. I was so stuck on
wonderful.
her. And I just said, thank you for blessing me for these 10 seconds of going to floor 2 to 4. You know what I mean? Like, just thank you for that blessing. It's just the little things, God. Jordan. It's the little things.
You have refreshed my day. Thank you for that.
Right? No, you are more than welcome, brother. How are you so free? I've always been curious about that. How did you get your freeness, this free spirit of yours? Because not too many people can bob and weave from like a Dear Evan Hansen to film, to Netflix, to gaming. Like you just have this sense of freedom about you. I've always admired that. I've always been curious about that.
Yeah, I think it's 2 parts. I get my joy from something else, and I know that you know what I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is just that early on in my career, I was put in a box. And it was so clear that I was not a sit still in the box guy. And so at a young age, I just busted out of that box, and I told my team, and I told my crew, my family, my acting coach, I was like, I want to do anything and everything that I'm encouraged and inspired to do. And that's going to mean film, television, and music. It's also going to mean production down the line. Here I am now. It's going to mean gaming and esports. And here we are. It's going to mean music. Here we are. It's going to. And I think that part of it is so that I don't get burnt out. The other part of it is because I'm going to live my life and do the things that I want to do. And these are all things that I want to do. So I don't need to pick. So I'm not gonna. I don't need to pick, so I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna keep planting the seeds everywhere and water the garden. My garden's about 18 years old now, but the plants are all up to like my quad at this point.
Wow.
So we're getting there. Had I shortened the garden and poured everything into one avenue at a time, I might be an Oscar winner right now. I might have a Grammy. I might have a Tony. I don't know that I would be overly thrilled and stimulated with that lifestyle, though, because for me personally, it's not enough. I like to create, and I want more opportunities to create. So if I can, in building my legacy, plant all these seeds in a garden, not to quote Hamilton, but actually be able to water all of them simultaneously, then one day I'm going to be surrounded by an orchard, and I'm not going to have to worry about anything. Everything's going to be self-sustaining, and I will have found people that I believe in to run things for me and to empower them to make things even better than I could have, and to be able to be home with my family. That's the life that I want.
That is beautiful. I had another question for you, but I think I'd rather just end it right there. I think when someone describes their life that way in space and use gardens and orchards as a metaphor, I think sometimes you have to sit still and let that exist as is, and not add on to it.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Mike. We will be speaking again, because anytime you ever want to talk about anything, I will always say yes. So
no, we have to, man. You're very special.
Likewise,
to this space. I just love how you're a custodian. There's not much of a culture, but you're a custodian of like freedom, right? And more people need to hear these conversations and see people like you. Yeah, especially Black boys. It's really impressive, brother. I thank you for always showing up, Jordan, being your authentic self, representing for Black boys all across the world. And thank you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Jordan Fisher. Please make sure you get your eyes checked. Pay attention to your health. Your health matters, your eyes matter, and Black maternal mortality matters. And so until next time, folks, peace.